Hey everybody, sorry about that. Susan Lazar-Hart here, your congruency coach. Had a little bit of interesting stuff going on Facebook today. Anybody else having that? Well, we are here loud and proud. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll let the algorithms let you know that I'm going live. This is Sunday. It's Ask Susan Sunday. That means it's your place to come in and your space to come in and ask me questions about whatever's popping for you. And generally it's about a theme. We've had themes on relationships. We've had themes on commitment. And the theme this month is on trust. Hey, Apeksha, welcome, welcome, welcome. Or is it Mishra? I think it's Mishra. Welcome. Hey, we have an international community. As you come on in, tell us where you're coming from so we can share in the joy of being here together. We're talking about trust, what trust is and what trust isn't. You know, there's a lot of modalities that tell you a lot of things. There's a lot of everything that tells you a lot of things. But one of the things I know for sure is that we're not encouraged to trust our knowing, right? What we truly know. You know, from a very young age, we're discouraged to trust what we know. Hey, Jen. And we're actually encouraged to trust what somebody else says. Hey, Bettina, everybody's coming in from, hey, Bettina's coming in from Germany. Yeah, tell us where you're from. Jen, tell us where you're from. Mishra, tell us where you're coming in from. I love it. It's such a wonderful community. I'm so grateful for all of you. So today we're actually having a conversation about trust. What trust is, what trust isn't. And we've been taught not to trust ourselves, our knowing, our innate knowing, right? You come into this world, you choose a body, you choose a family, and right at the start, you're told when to pee, when to poo, what to do, how to do it, and nobody ever asks you, well, what do you know, right? Nobody ever listens to the baby's cry and asks the baby, you know, energetically, what is it that you're telling me here, right? We automatically assume what to do with the baby, how to be with the baby. Hey, Jeanette, welcome. Right? And so from a very young age, you're not taught to trust your knowing, right? So one of the biggest things that we'll be talking about this month is that really trust comes from the alignment of that which who you truly be, right? Now we talk a lot about building a foundation in congruent living. We talk a lot about, and you know, if you're curious about what that means, go to the Ask Susan TV. I'll put the link in after this. And we talked about foundation last Sunday, right? Building that foundation. What is that foundation? Well, that's the alignment. You know, when you choose to do something, play with someone, you can trust your alignment. But here's the thing. You've got to actually be willing to be present with what you are innately aligned with, what brings you joy, right? So I thought we'd open this up with what is trust for you and what isn't trust for you, right? When somebody says, don't worry about it, just trust me, that what they're really saying is, don't tap in to what you truly know and who you truly be. Give that to me. So how many of you were taught that trust is something that you give to someone else that has nothing to do with you? I had a really interesting conversation with somebody recently about the idea that you can be taken advantage of. Well, if you take you out of the picture, if you take who you truly be and that knowing of what brings you joy, of what actually creates greater, if you forget to include the universe, because everything's here for you, and you give that to someone else and say, oh, they took advantage of me, not so much. In fact, no. Really, there's not a wrongness here. It's more like, oh, where was I in my knowing, right? In my gut, bone deep, infinite knowing. Yeah. So, as this is not a dialogue or monologue, it's conversation, and I'm so grateful for all of you showing up. I realize a lot of people are with their families on this holiday Sunday, so thank you so much for showing up. Are we in the right place? Can I get some hearts and likes or questions, some aha moments? Just because I want to check in here. We went in very quickly into what is trust for you, right? So what is trust for you? Is it something you were taught? Is it something that you acknowledge? Jen says, thanks, Susan. Oh, you're welcome, Jen. Yeah. Is it something that is outside of you? How many of you were taught, for instance, not to trust your body? You know, I work with so many people who are asking about their bodies right now. And they're like, well, I can't trust my body. My conversation really is about, are you willing to be present with your body and what your body knows, right? Because you, as the infinite being, chose this body. Not somebody else's body. You actually chose this body. What is your body telling you? What does it know? We're going to talk more about that as the month progresses. Jen just got into a car accident yesterday morning. Let's expand out. How's your body now? Right? Jen, asking myself what I know and what can I trust about myself. Thank you so much, Jen. And I'm going to tell you a little story about a car accident with a friend of mine. But it's not about what can I trust about myself. You see, do you get that? There's a law of polarity in there, right? Well, what can I not trust about myself? What can I trust about myself? You are an infinite being. You're not out there. So who is it that's asking you, what can I trust about myself? Right? Do you realize that's a judgment that we have? I can't trust myself. I might ask you, what is it you were willing to be aware of, and what is it you weren't willing to be aware of? What were you asking, and what was it you weren't asking? And it's not a wrongness in any of this, please, right? Trust that you know. Again, it's something we're not taught. So we're like, what do you mean, Susan, trust that I know? It's a habit, right, of checking in. So a friend of mine was asking for, a new car. She wanted to have a new car. She couldn't stand her car. And with that in mind, always going through her head, where am I going to find the money for a new car? I've got to find a new car. Can't stand my car. She was in a car accident. She created a car accident that had nothing to do with her, that had to do with somebody ramming her. So her car was destroyed. The insurance paid for a brand new car for her, and there was still enough money for her son to have a car. What are you asking for? It's going to turn out totally different than what you thought. Yeah. Jen, I'm okay. I'm feeling pretty good in my body, but insurance stuff is wigging me out. Oh, and then Jen says, thank you. Yeah. So, hey, Kagler, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, you get that nothing is the way that we see it. We tend to see things from here, not from in here. Right? We tend to hear things from here, our exterior ears, not from that line of innate intelligence that we have. Jen, after she heard the story about my friend, she goes, that's awesome. Yep, that's what I'm asking for. Right. How did I create this? It's what was I asking for that this was created, right? It's just a totally different way of being in the world. I mean, look at Dr. Joe Dispenza. He tells a story about how he was in an accident, and every single part of his body, they said, he'll never walk again. And so he started to really be present with every part and portion of his body and healing it, through his intention of having a healed body. Look up his story. But the point is, who he is now, and he did heal his body, by the way, against everything the doctors had said. And through that experience, who he is now, sharing his wealth of knowledge with the world about connecting with all the other paradigms, connecting with the energetic fields, right? About what it's like to live in no body, no time, no space, right? He's right on the cutting edge of information people are asking for, and he has been for years. And he travels the world teaching this. Right? What was he asking for before that accident? You see, it always turns out different than the way you think it is. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. And nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Yeah. Yay, Jen says yes. Right? So is this making sense? Right? When I say is this making sense, is this Susan, you're way off. Or yes, I'm so glad I came on this call. Like, let me see a heart or a thumbs up, just so I know we're in the right lane, right? Because it's really, really, important, I will say, as we start this adventure of this month of investigating trust, right? That you start to actually tap into who you be, what you be, and what you know, right? And also, Jen says, yes, yes. Thanks, Jen. The thing is, because we're taught for those first 7 years, whether you call that the subconscious, whatever you want to call that, that we're taught a whole belief system of how we can't possibly know what's good for us. We can't possibly know what our body desires, right? That we're supposed to listen to someone else. Well, I'm asking you now to be with you and tap into your knowing. Will this bring me joy? Right? Be with what brings you joy. Be with that space and place of what creates greater with you and for you. And then ask questions from there, right? Trust that you know. Again, trust comes from the alignment of that which who you truly be. I'm going to be repeating this a lot this month, I can see. Trust comes from the alignment of that which who you truly be. Not from somebody else's desire to take responsibility for your life, for your choices. Not from your desire to relinquish your choices. Because here's the truth, we're always choosing, right? We're always choosing. We can choose to have somebody take over our life. We can choose to actually be in alignment with what we desire for our life. It's just a choice. And you can choose and choose again and choose again. And the secret to that is being in the question, right? Does this align with what I'm asking to create in the world? Right? With what I'm asking to create in the world. Not with, does this align with somebody is promising me they're going to create in the world? Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. So here's your home plate. I'd like you to spend some time with you. Go for walks, whatever that is. There, some people it's baking bread, or some people it's just sitting quietly. For myself, it's when I get up in the morning, I just sit quietly and talk to my guides and the spirits that are all around me. Hey, Jeanette. And I ask them for information. I'm also very present if they would like to talk to me and with me. Then I do some writing. And then I move my body around in a way that brings me joy. That taps into how I'm going to align with my day, right? So it starts from the moment you wake up and all through, right? Are you in alignment? Is what you're choosing in alignment with who you truly be? That's what, if you start to get a new habit in which you're not surprised by everything, and you don't wake up in the morning with the whole world on top of your shoulders and say, oh, before I deal with me, I have to deal with them. What are you trusting there? You're trusting that the actually things that distract you will be coming in, because that's what you're telling the universe, right? Oh, yeah, I'll have those distractions, right? Trust comes from the alignment of that which who you truly be. That's our thing for today, right? So I want to ask you again to take some time for you, whatever that looks like for you, at the start of your day, and just ask yourself, what is it that I'm asking to create with today? And then check in. Is that in alignment with who you truly be and what you're asking to create in the world? Yeah. All right. If there are no more questions, no more ahas, no more comments, please share this with other people in the group. Go on to Ask Susan TV, share and like it from there. We pop it in every day, every Sunday. And if you're looking for more Ask Susan Sundays, they're all over there. And if you want to dive deeper, if you're saying, Susan, this is exactly, I feel out of alignment. This is exactly what's going on for me. How did you know? Reach out to me, right? Private message me or DM me. Go to SusanLazarHart.com. reach out through there. There's so many ways to reach out. Let me know what's popping for you. You know, if you're watching this later, hashtag replay, add in a few comments, right? We have over 2,000 members here. And so I know that there's a lot of quiet ones that actually read the comments, read the questions. So you're not alone, right? Once again, reach out to me. If needs be, I'm totally here for you. You know that, right? Yeah. Trust comes from the alignment of that which who you truly be. Take some time for you today and check in. Who is it? Who am I? Right? What brings me joy? What's my foundation? And am I in alignment with what I'm asking to create in the world right now? That's your big question for this week. I adore you all. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader that you came here to be. The world needs more of you and that special sauce, not less. I adore you all. Thank you so much. Mwah. Have an amazing chocolate Easter Bunny day for those of you enjoying your chocolates today. Bye-bye.